The Met Gala is known for delivering jaw-dropping fashion, but let's be honest, it's also the red carpet where beauty often comes at the expense of comfort. Every year, celebrities step out in eye-catching outfits so extreme they can barely breathe, eat, or even walk without assistance. So, let's take a look at the stars who took beauty is pain to a whole new level. But first, a little reminder that it doesn't have to be this way. Princess Diana proved that decades ago. In the Hulu docuseries In Vogue, the 90s, designer John Galliano shared that Diana had been invited to the Met and planned to wear one of his dresses, corset and all. But when she arrived, he was stunned. She had ripped the corset out. She wanted to feel free, and she looked stunning doing it. No tight lacing required. Not everyone followed her lead, though. In 2024, Tyla showed up in a Balmain dress made of actual sand, molded to her body. Yes, sand. She literally couldn't move on her own and had to be carried up the stairs by one assistant while two more held her train.
We just knew we wanted to do something special. Like, we were on phone calls every other day.
Trying to figure out what?
Once she got inside, designer Olivier Rousteing had to cut the dress shorter just so she could walk. It was a dramatic fashion moment, but comfort wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah. Did they mold that to your body? What was that process like?
Yeah, they put it on me and they molded it to fit me perfectly.
Zendaya's 2018 Joan of Arc-inspired look also looked amazing and felt like armor. She later admitted it was so heavy from all the beating that she could barely stand in her platforms.
I was struggling. I was like, I need to sit down. But it was all worth it.
Katy Perry knows a thing or two about impractical outfits. In 2022, she wore a pin-filled gown and shared just how tricky it was to manage behind the scenes.
I've been pinned in for 3 hours. Don't ask me how I'm gonna go to the restroom, ever, or anyone at the Met.
And remember the chandelier look from 2019? Katy had to balance very carefully, worried she might tip over at any moment.
I had to really walk a straight line, and it's like I wanted to say hi to all my friends, but even if someone looked at me for long enough, I would start to teeter and go.
Then there was Beyoncé in 2011. Her Emilio Pucci mermaid gown was so tight, she needed help from Jay-Z and her stylist just to make it up the stairs. And Rihanna's 2018 Pope-inspired look? Absolutely stunning, but it was no lightweight. It was heavy. Every step was a squat. I promise you my butt gained from that night, she told ET. Well, a win is a win. And we can't forget Kim Kardashian. In 2019, her waist was cinched so tightly in a muggler corset that she needed breathing lessons. I have never felt pain like that in my life, she later admitted.
I still got anxiety and
In 2022, she crash dieted to fit into Marilyn Monroe's dress, triggering a painful flare-up of her psoriasis and arthritis. I couldn't move my hands, she revealed.
I tried it on and it didn't fit me. And so I looked at them and I said, give me 3 weeks. And I had to lose 16 pounds down today to be able to fit this.
And in 2024, Kim showed up in a metal corset so tight she could barely breathe.
Never felt this much pain in my life. Can I take it off?
I've never felt this way before, where I feel like I can't breathe.
I'm just actually gonna die.
But in true Kim fashion, she shrugged it off later, saying, if you look good, it was all worth it. Now that we've seen what celebrities endured for fashion, let's see if all that effort paid off by taking a nostalgic trip through some of the best Met Gala looks of all time. Starting with the 2024 carpet, Demi Moore gave us everything in a stunning Harris Reed creation. That look alone deserves a standing ovation.
How heavy is this dress?
Actually, it's not heavy at all.
Actually, Demi has been a Met Gala pro for a while. Way back in 2001, for the Jacqueline Kennedy The White House Years theme, she wore a dazzling gold gown that just screamed old-school glamour.
Okay, so this was, I think, my very first Met ball.
And fun fact, Jacqueline Kennedy herself once hit the Met Gala red carpet, too. In 1979, she showed up in Valentino for the Fashions of the Habsburg Era theme, making historical fashion look effortlessly chic. But honestly, would we expect anything less? Jackie O never missed. Now, Flipping to 2003, the year when Nicole Kidman and Gisele Bündchen both nailed the Goddess the Classical Mode theme. They looked absolutely ethereal, like real goddesses floating down the red carpet. Also, Scarlett Johansson's 2004 yellow satin gown for the Dangerous Liaisons theme was pure romance. Beautiful, soft, and totally unforgettable. Alexander McQueen and Sarah Jessica Parker shut down the red carpet in 2006, stepping out in matching tartan looks that perfectly captured the Anglomania theme. What a power duo.
Everybody loved him because he was such a touching person.
Fast forward to 2007, when Cate Blanchett blessed the Met steps for the Poiré King of Fashion theme. She wore Balenciaga and somehow managed to look both fierce and elegant at the same time. A true queen move.
The first time I went to the Met Ball, and I went with Nicolas Gasquier when he was at Balenciaga. So we just shot with Irving Penn that day, and Nicolas had done his take on an Elizabethan garment.
Jumping to 1985, Cher completely understood the assignment for the Costumes of Royal India theme, wearing a super embellished ultra glam piece. Honestly, when does Cher not bring it? And you know we can't talk Met Gala without mentioning Kate Moss. Her 1995 slip dress was classic, effortless, and so Kate. Now, if we're talking about scene stealers, we have to bring up Rihanna. Her 2015 Met Gala look wasn't just memorable, it was the definition of iconic.
I saw this beautiful piece on the internet. I was looking through, researching Chinese couture, and it's made by Gupe.
This is beautiful.
She's a Chinese couturier.
And just when you thought she couldn't top herself, she did it again in 2018 for the Heavenly Bodies Fashion and the Catholic Imagination theme, dressed in Maison Margiela. The dedication to the theme? 10 out of 10.
They beaded this by hand, and it would be a sin not to wear it.
And speaking of the 2024 carpet again, Zendaya did what she always does, completely nailed it. She showed up in a stunning Maison Margiela look, complete with a dramatic headpiece. Smoky, mysterious, and pure perfection. Also, let's not forget Zendaya's 2018 moment when she transformed into a modern-day Joan of Arc in Atelier Versace. Zendaya doesn't just follow the theme, she becomes the theme. That same year, Gigi Hadid stunned in a stained glass-inspired Versace gown that looked like a true piece of wearable art. She looked just incredible.
Girl, it's all like angelic, glowing.
Next, Anne Hathaway gave us an edgy surprise in 2023 with her Versace safety pin look. It was unexpected, bold, and exactly why we fell in love with it.
But yeah, I think it's kind of this, it was meant to be sort of a marriage between Versace and Chanel.
And remember Lady Gaga in 2019? Of course you do. She turned the Met steps into her personal runway with not one, but 4 Brandon Maxwell looks.
She arrived in Brandon Maxwell and unveiled 4 outfits in front of the admiring crowd. A camp performance, indeed.
Now you can't talk about the Met Gala without mentioning the woman behind it all, Anna Wintour. She's been chairing the event since 1995, but even before that, in 1989, she attended dressed perfectly on theme for the Age of Napoleon. Blake Lively also gave us many major moments. In 2022, as a co-chair of the event, she arrived in a custom Versace gown. The dress stunned as it transformed right before our eyes from a copper masterpiece to an oxidized green, mirroring the Statue of Liberty's aging.
Hailing from the Empire State Building, some of the draping from the Statue of Liberty.
Wow.
This is the constellations from Grand Central Station painted there. And then my crown has 7 spikes because the Statue of Liberty.
And in 2018, her Versace gown was nothing short of regal. The theme was Heavenly Bodies Fashion and the Catholic Imagination, and she took it very seriously. She wore a custom Versace gown with intricate beading, a dramatic train, and a matching halo headpiece by Lorraine Schwartz.
Is without a doubt my favorite look of all time.
So, after all these jaw-dropping yet sometimes uncomfortable looks, do you think all that fashion creativity is worth the pain and discomfort? And out of all the iconic moments we've seen, which Met Gala look do you think deserves the title of the best of all time? Share your thoughts in the comments.